So first, let's show you the video, all right? So here's the video. Let me start from the beginning. Okay, so this was the video that I made a short on, and I said I'd talk about it on screen today. This is from a Taiwanese fermented tofu production facility, and it's called, I think it's called Liu Ma Ki. Okay, that's the Cantonese pronunciation for this. Liu Ma Ki is, they've been found that the products like in the jar, so you got these, they're called fermented tofu curds. What they taste like, it's basically a cross of salty, how would you describe it? Like, it's like Chinese cheese, basically, like Chinese tofu cheese, but salty. And actually, if you add this to rice, if you add this to your hot pot soup base, your sauce for hot pot, you can add this to even like for a marinade for your chicken wing. It's very umami, it's very flavorful. It's really good, okay? It looks disgusting, but it's really, really friggin' good. It's fermented tofu, okay? Then if you go the next step, you get stinky tofu. So this is like the step before that, so you get fermented tofu. It's a typical sauce that they use in the Kanto region in Chinese cooking. Okay, so they were found that a batch of these jars contained higher than normal levels of bacteria, in that it's not safe for consumption anymore. You probably get a stomach ache if you ate that. In one of the batches they tested, it was revealed that it was 12 times higher than the normal consumption amount for a food safety reasonable amount. Okay, so at first I was like, what? I didn't get the context of this video. I was like, okay, so what? It's just basically typical China fake stuff, you know, toxic stuff, right? But the fake part actually later makes sense because what they are doing is this bigger jar here, it comes from mainland China. So some random facility in mainland China produces the tofu, the actual fermented tofu. All these people did was transfer it to a smaller jar and filling it with the liquid, which is a wine. And then they're calling that Hong Kong made. So they're faking the origin of this entire thing. Now, given the fact that we know that in China, there's no food safety regulation, so for you, you can just produce anything like fermented tofu with too much bacteria, so what? And since they're importing this from mainland China, that's really not Hong Kong made. So this whole situation destroyed a lot of the credibility of this brand, which is a Hong Kong icon. So here in this post, what they're talking about, which we can watch this video to find out.
Liu Ma Ki has been a family-run business that became famous for making and selling the popular fermented tofu products for nearly 120 years.
120 years.
Its shop here in Hong Kong's Yangma neighborhood is closed after the company found itself mired in controversy. Hong Kong Centers for Food Safety announced on July 4th that jars of Liu Ma Ki's fermented bean curd taken from a shop in the Sai Ying Pun neighborhood has shown unsatisfactory levels of the bacteria Bacillus carriers. The bacteria produces a toxin when heated and left out for too long, and can cause food poisoning, vomiting, and diarrhea. Test results show the sample contained the bacteria at a level of 130,000 per gram. The threshold for safe consumption is 100,000 per gram.
Yeah, so this was the safety test that they initially did when they were going to investigate this, right? So that was the just very beginning of this chaos.
The family behind Liu Ma Ki's initially challenged the government's findings. A family member appeared on the television program, blaming authorities for sending the shop to hell overnight and for destroying its reputation. But
okay, at first they denied it, but then the worst thing, honestly, that's why, like I'm saying, the whole culture of toxic food, of faking products, has been exported to Hong Kong. Hong Kong is done. Like, they've corrupted Hong Kong. Like, Hong Kong used to be like Cantonese food, when you go there, like you're expecting it's different than what you get in China. You're expecting cleanness, or at least relatively cleaner food. You're expecting made in Hong Kong stuff. But now it's you can't even tell. Obviously, it's much cheaper for them to get it from from mainland China and then import it than it is probably for them to make it domestically here.
Center for Food Safety released another report on July 16th, saying that a new sample taken from the same new marquee product was found to contain a fastidious caries level of 1.3 million per gram. The amount is
So that's about 12 times.
12 times the recommended level for safe consumption. New Marquis operator maintained the new sample was actually tailor-made for the center staff based on authorities' suggestions, given it had already suspended producing the fermented bean curd after the first warning. As of July 22nd, it has been hard to find New Marquis fermented.
Okay, so basically it destroyed this brand overnight because they decided to use bad stuff from China. And which I find very interesting is that it tells us two things, right? Number one is Hong Kong's food safety is down the drain. Honestly, it's sad at this point. And also the second is, why were they doing this and not telling people firsthand? Like the owner were like, oh yeah, no, the government's screwing with us. We're not doing any of the stuff they accused us of it. But actually they were lying, obviously. So later they were found that they were using imported bean curd, exposes legal loophole according to experts. Okay, so it says a roll over the use of imported fermenting bean curd for 3 decades by a 119 years old has been exposed to safety regulation loopholes. So basically they've been doing this since like as early as 1990s, which is when China took over Hong Kong in 1997. So yeah, this basically started when China got their hands involved in Hong Kong. And now obviously it's finally been revealed because I think, now I don't know if this is the first batch that had the problems with the bacteria, or that in the past they just never really, they neglected to report on this. But yeah, like in China, you really cannot deal with food safety in the ways that you see here. Like people that go to China often get sick from anything they eat. Same thing within India, because it's just so dirty. So now it shows us, yeah, stuff that you get in Hong Kong is probably not even safe. I think honestly, to be honest, I buy a lot of made in Taiwan products. If I can get it that's made in Taiwan, I will get it over made in China 100% of the times. You're much cleaner, much cleaner. Cheat your way. Yeah, so that's Elaine Michelle T says the most ridiculous part is the owner of the fermented tofu actually said it doesn't really count as made in China because the man who produced the tofu in China was originally from Hong Kong. It's so crazy. It's the fault of the Japan's treated water. Exactly. The finger is where all the flavor comes from. Yeah, dude, that's the part I was like, oh my God. When I eat this stuff, when I eat the fermented tofu, like you got the jar, right? Or actually, it's more like this. I use a chopstick in there and I wash it after so I don't cross-contaminate. But I guess I've been doing the extra step wrong anyways because these people were just putting their fingers inside anyways. Like one finger touch. And then her fingers go in there too. Like where's the glove? Pretty crazy stuff.